Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having a great start to your week. Hope things are coming together. Remember what I always tell you that regardless of where you are, regardless to how it seems at any given moment, if you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. And that's the thing that you have to remember, that this is a journey. This is a progressive move towards something that you consider to be valuable and worthy of your time, your energy, your effort, your desires, your heart. And so it is immensely important to understand that it's not going to happen overnight, that there are going to be some ups and downs, some ins and outs, some bumps and some bruises. But if you're still breathing, you're still in the fight. You're still in the fight. There's the opportunity to win. And if you consistently apply yourself, you will win. There's this universal law of reciprocity. Some call it sowing and reaping. Others call it reciprocity. Whatever you want to call it, is what you put out comes back. A lot of times it doesn't come back when you want it to, but it definitely comes back. So I want you to definitely keep that in mind. Before I get talking to today is Transformational Tuesday. This is where we get to talk about what it takes to transform. I love sharing some of the ways that I work with my clients to achieve transformation, to achieve elevation and growth. And there is a process. It's not just reaching, grabbing, and hoping and wishing. There is a step-by-step process. You have to know where to start. You have to know what to understand. I'm going to give you 7 real key elements, components, or principles that are a part of the transformational process. And I hope that it brings some clarity to you. Before I do, I want to point you to the description box. In there, you're going to find opportunities to work with yours truly. Also, a chance to take some of our online courses. With that being said, let's jump right into it. The first thing that I deal with the first thing I deal with, sorry about that. The first thing I deal with a client is to establish their level of self-awareness, how they view themselves, their self-image. And why? Because I understand that self-esteem is immensely important to self-confidence, which is important to the capacity to go after things that are seemingly beyond one's reach. But it doesn't start with self-esteem. It starts with self-image, self-concept, the idea of self. How do I see myself in the world? And when I do that, I start to work on and understand where they are. What limiting beliefs do they hold about themselves? What hindering beliefs do they hold about themselves? Some people have been convinced that they don't have the wherewithal, the intellectual capacity, the skill set, the gift, or whatever to do it. So they're locked into a situation where they believe they're limited. Other people believe that the world is against them and it's a big, strong force and there's nothing they can do about it. So they stay hidden in a place of calm. Then you got other people who believe that this world will bend to their will. If they go out and they take the bumps and the bruises, then you got other people that believe that if I desire, I want it, there's absolutely nothing that can stop me. And there are these different levels and all the things in between. But it depends on how you see yourself. If you have developed a self-image that sees the world as this big, huge thing, and it's simply life happening to you, your ability to go out and achieve things at a high level is going to be very minimal, if it exists at all, because you think things are happening to you. Now, the truth is things aren't happening to you. They're responding to you. They're responding to your faith. They're responding to your beliefs about yourself. They're responding to your words. They're responding to your thoughts. All of these things create energy that move the world. Most importantly, they're responding to the actions that come out of the beliefs, the thoughts, and the self-talk. You're literally creating your life each and every day, starting with your thinking. Your thoughts become things. Your thoughts have physicality. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So the one thing that I do is we have to reconstruct the self-image. How do you see yourself? We have to find, where did you get this idea about yourself? Where did you get this limiting idea, this limiting belief, this thing that has held you hostage for so long that you have no desire any longer to go after anything of any true value. You see it and you know it's there, but you don't believe you can have it. Where did you get it from? Let's go back and look at it. Is what you were told about yourself really true? Are the fears you hold really grounded in reality, or some idea that somebody planted in your mind? All these things we reconstructed, but what we're trying to do is create a self-esteem, a self-awareness, of feeling good about yourself that says, man, I'm going to make this a great day. Man, I'm going to make this a great week. Man, I'm going to make my life great. And it starts with awareness. So the first thing that I tell everybody is, let's look at how you feel about yourself. Let's look at how you see uh, uh, that desire you have. And is it a distant hope and you don't really want to charge after it? Or are you seeing yourself in a way that says, man, I'm about to go get it? Thanks, Carla, and hello, Melody. Thanks for dropping in. It's good to see you as well. Look, the second one is self-responsibility. Here's a big one. Take responsibility for your life. Take responsibility for your outcomes. It does not, taking responsibility for one's self does not mean that there aren't things out there moving against you. It does not mean that people haven't done things to you they shouldn't do. It does not mean you haven't been wronged and there haven't been some real bad. What it means is you don't control anything in this world but what you do. And it starts with how you think. And what you have to do is sit up and say, in my mind, I'm going to make up in my mind that I'm going to take responsibility for the outcomes. I can't control what other people do. I can't control every movement and situation and circumstance, but I can absolutely control how I respond to it. And it's how I respond to the adversity in life, the vicissitudes in life, the challenges in life, the ups and downs, the difficulties that will ultimately determine the outcome. Not circumventing the trials of life, but responding to them in a way that advances me, that grows me, that strengthens me, that enlightens and makes me aware of how to move in this world. I'm developing, I'm becoming something by the way that I face adversity. That's what you got. I'm taking responsibility for my outcomes. I'm saying, you know what? I didn't like that. So what can I do differently this time? What can I do differently about this? How can I move differently? What do I need to change about myself? How do I need to focus and grow on my own? What is it about what I'm doing that needs to change? Own your own responsibility and your own outcomes. It's not about letting people off the hook. It's about controlling the things where you have power. You don't have power because you've given it away to all the people who've hurt you, to all the people who have stood up and said things about you, to all the circumstances and environments that you've been in that were not favorable. You've given your power away. So you have no power to change anything because you decided to disperse it among the things that you see negative in your life. You have to restrain and maintain your personal sovereignty, your universal self-power by saying, I own my moments. I can't stop or control someone else, but I can definitely control how I move. Self-responsibility. You got to set goals. And you got to set goals beyond comfort. Most people are setting goals they know they can reach. Doesn't even require faith to do that. If I know if I do X, Y, Z, I get this. And then I go do X, Y, Z. I don't need faith to get it. I just know if I show up and do this, this is what I get. That doesn't require faith. Faith isn't even activated until you step in the realm of impossibility. Faith isn't activated until you step into a place where now I've got to trust something I can't see yet. Then I'm going to set my goals so far that it challenges me. I tell people all the time, my goals wake me up in the morning because they're so huge. They have an urgency that says you can't sleep in today. And sleeping in for me is 7 o'clock. I'm never in the bed after 7. So, but my goal, so you better get up now. You need to get this done. You need to get that done. You need to get this done. If you want it by this time, you're going to have this done because there are some things out there that you don't know are coming. that's going to interrupt what you've got. So you got to get a good start. You got to build some momentum. You got to get advances when you can, because there's going to be challenges. It doesn't come without a challenge. If it's worth having, get ready to fight for it. But you've got to set them big. Everybody who follows me knows my favorite quote by Stephen Furtick. If the vision that you have for your life isn't so huge that it intimidates you, there's a good chance that it's a good chance that it is insulting God. That is the key, is understanding that I need to set goals that stretch me. My first mentor used to tell me all the time, he says, you're going to spend a lot of time failing forward. And when I first heard the word failing, I'm like, then I realized that we all fail. There's micro failures all the time. Failure isn't final until you quit. What he meant by failing forward is that I set my goals so high that the chance of me actually hitting them by the date that I set are probably not likely. But what happens when I set goals to that extreme is it makes me get up every day and give every day my all. One of the quotes that I often end my videos with is, I live my life on full, so that when I leave this place, I die on E. What does it mean living on full? It means I give myself to every moment. I don't take my time on this place called Earth casually. I understand that I got 86,400 seconds in a day. And if I don't optimize that 86.4, I don't get the best out of myself. And the way I optimize it is I make every moment matter. Some of it is obviously meant for sleep and recovery, rest. Some of it's meant for prayer and meditation. Some of it's meant for loving and sharing with my family and my friends. And the other is meant putting it down and putting on the work and giving it everything I have and being committed to it. Everything should have a time and a place, because that second, it seems small and microcosmic, but if you don't be careful, that second would be the one thing that costs you the vision. So you've got to be committed to it. The next thing is you've got to be willing to mark your progress. What does that mean? Marking your progress is being aware of where you are and how you're moving. One of the biggest things that I try to teach my clients is that you need to learn to celebrate the smallest of wins and victories. We set our goals, our 90-day goal, our 6-month goal, our 1-year goal, blah, blah, blah. But if you only got in 1 year, if you've only got a 90-day goal, 6-day goal, and a year goal, you got 365 days in a year. So that's 362 days that there's no chance of because if I hit my goal on time each time, that is a three times that I get to celebrate. What's happening all those other times? How am I keeping myself lifted? How am I keeping myself motivated? How am I finding joy in the journey? It's hard to do that when all you got is 3 days. You need to sit up and know every day I go to sleep. Did I do something to grow today? Yes, I did X, Y, Z. All right, then. Way to go. Give yourself a small pat on the back. Put a notch in something, put a mark on something, write it down, whatever you need to do. But you need to acknowledge that you're not the same person that you were yesterday, because you took some steps to grow. And if you took some steps to grow, you're progressing towards something, because how you get what you want is to become the person capable of creating it, the person capable of making it happen. It's the capacity you develop in yourself that determines what you're able to have. You don't get what you want, you get who you are. So then what do I need to do? I need to be able to know that I'm going towards something. So I need to be able to mark the micro progressions that most people miss. Oh, I celebrate every inch of my growth, because it may be the last time I celebrate. Tomorrow's not promised. So I'm going to celebrate the little growth I made, the half a book I read or the full book I read, depending on what kind of mood I'm in and how I'm moving. I can sit down and read a book in a day. It's just dependent. But I'm going to do something that advances me in understanding, advances me in knowledge, advances me in awareness, advances me in skill, so that I'm not the same person that woke up. I'm going to do something to heal. because I'm taking bumps and bruises all the way through life, sometimes bigger than and more emphatic than others, other times just small little micro aggressions from different places that wear and tear on you over time. You got to take time to heal. Next, you need to establish higher standards. And people say, what standards are what determine your tolerance. As you raise your standards, you lower your tolerance. You lower your tolerance for excuses from yourself and from others. You lower your tolerance of low quality living. You lower your tolerance for people who are negative in your environment. Raise your standards. Give yourself something to strive towards to become that's better than who you are, and make that the standard of acceptance in your world. If people aren't moving at that standard or higher, you need to ask yourself, what are they bringing to the table? What are they bringing to your life? How are they adding to what you're trying to do? And are you having a positive impact on who they are? What's the purpose of them being there? Either they're influencing you or you're influencing them. But what I can tell you is, if they're influencing you and it's not a good influence, they're working against you. Here's another thing. Create balance. I'm telling you from personal experience that when you don't create balance, you burn out. When it just becomes about the grind, eventually you burn out. Take some time to love on yourself. Take some time to love on others. Be willing to let people love you. One of the biggest things I've found in working with people is a lot of us don't have the capacity to be loved. We don't have the capacity to let some. We are so focused and laser centered on what we need. We have become so rigid in our existence that we don't have the capacity to allow others to love us. You need to experience that. That needs to be a level of softness inside of you that can love and be loved. There needs to be a level of softness inside of you that can show empathy and understanding. There needs to be that inside of you, because that's a major component of your growth, your advancement, and the ability to expand and receive. Remember, gratitude is the gateway to abundance, but your ability to love takes you to an even higher plane of existence, an even higher vibration of frequency. If you don't understand how to create that, how to experience that, you find yourself in this space that's empty, that's hard, that's cold, and all you have is a goal. And what you'll end up doing is breaking stuff along the way. Create that balance. Finally, attitude. If you're going to transform, you're going to have to change your attitude. You're going to have to create an attitude of expectancy, an attitude of anticipation, a positive mindset, a way to frame things. It's not ignoring the things that aren't right. It's understanding that you're not going to give power to them. You're going to look for the solution instead of focusing on the problem. You're going to understand that if there's a problem, there's a solution, and that the mind of God is accessible to you at absolutely every second of the day. When you open up, when you raise your frequency, when you come out of low vibrational thinking and attitudes. Some of them are envy, jealousy, anger, bitterness, strife, anxiety, worry, fear. All of that stuff, 250 hertz or lower, will bring you nothing but more negativity, nothing but more pain and anxiety, nothing but more frustration. You won't be able to frame things right. Everything in front of you will be wrong. Everybody around you will be wrong. Everybody will have you on the defensive because you're functioning at a low frequency. Let it go. Start focusing on gratitude. Start focusing on thankfulness. Start looking for positive anticipation in your thinking. I'm expecting something good to happen. It's not that I don't expect it to come with challenges, but I understand I'm built for the battle. I'm built for the challenge. I'm built to go through it. All of my life experiences have prepared me for this very moment. If I'm facing it, I'm built for it. So then what does that mean? I don't get shaken by adversity. I'm not moved by circumstance and situations. They are temporal. When I meet a negative circumstance, there's something in my spirit that reminds me I have the power to disagree with the circumstance. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It means that it has no power to stop me. My destiny is written as long as I move toward it. The very definition of destiny means that you can't stop it. Matter of fact, a simplification says the more you try to stop my destiny, you only ensure that it happens. Many people have become a part of my destiny, trying to get in my way. You cannot stop what is destined to happen. The only person that can stop your destiny is you by quitting. You have to have an awareness of self, be committed to becoming what's necessary to have what you say you want. Be willing to face adversity in the process of obtaining it. Be willing to look at yourself and challenge yourself and understanding that you're never looking at the best version of yourself. There's always something you can do to be better. Change your attitude. I'm not going to be worrying. I'm not going to be a finger pointer. I'm not going to sit up and whine and complain. I'm never a victim. I'm a warrior. I'm a winner. I'm a person of impact. I'm building a legacy. You have to tell yourself that consistently. That's my challenge to you. Transformation is within your grasp. You can become anything you desire. The question is, are you willing to go the distance? That's the problem that most of us have, is we want things, but we aren't ready to go the distance. It doesn't matter how much of this, and you have, but you need to go the distance. On that note, look, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Again, for those who are looking for opportunities to work with me, there are some offers in the description box or post box, depending on where you're watching this at. For those who may be looking to take some of our online courses, I think there are a couple that are listed in the description box. But whatever you do, change is going to happen. What you want to do is make the change intentional. That way you dictate the growth and the direction in which you move. It's up to you. You've got to own it. On that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. And as I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I die on E. My challenge to you is to do the same. You guys have an unbelievable day.